The prophet Habakkuk had a hard time understanding this. It's a short but an interesting read, the book of Habakkuk. In chapter 1, Habakkuk cried out to the Lord. He looked around at the wickedness of his nation, the sin of his people, the selfishness and the hurt that was going on. And he cried out to the Lord, wondering how long the Lord would allow the sin in his nation to continue. He was so grieved by the wickedness he saw, and he longed for the Lord to do something about it. Maybe that's relevant, huh? Have you been there? You look around, you see the wickedness in our world, the wickedness in our country, and you cry out, God, how long are you going to allow this to continue? And so the Lord responded in Habakkuk 1, verse 5. Habakkuk 1, verse 5, the Lord said, look among the nations and watch, be utterly astounded. For I will work a work in your days which you would not believe though it were told you. If he stopped there, Habakkuk could be tremendously excited. If the Lord just stopped there, he could think, wow, a revival's coming. Something big's going to happen. Something good's going to happen. Something awesome is going to happen. And sometimes Christians take this verse out of context and they think, wow, what a promise. God is going to do something that's just going to blow us away. He didn't even want to tell us about it. It's so awesome. But verse 6 is there. And verse 6, the Lord went on to say this, for indeed, I'm raising up the Chaldeans, a bitter and hasty nation, which marches through the breadth of the earth to possess dwelling places that are not theirs. And the Lord went on to explain that the Chaldeans, the Babylonians, the ungodly, pagan, cruel, wicked Chaldeans were coming to conquer Judah and bring God's discipline upon his people. And the Lord said, hey Habakkuk, I'm going to use the Chaldeans to answer your prayer, to deal with the wickedness in your land. It's kind of like Christians around election time. Seeing the wickedness, seeing the junk in our country, seeing the horrible things that are happening, and crying out, God, would you do something about all the wickedness in our land? And God saying, okay, a bunch of ungodly people are going to be elected. Man, that's hard to understand, isn't it? It's hard to understand. Habakkuk had a hard time with it. He did. Listen to what he said to the Lord. Habakkuk 1, 12 and 13. He said, are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die, O Lord. You have appointed them, the Chaldeans, for judgment. It's those wicked, ungodly people. You're going to judge them. O rock, you have marked them for correction. You are pure of eyes to behold evil, and you cannot look upon wickedness. Why do you look upon those who deal treacherously and hold your tongue when wicked devours a person more righteous than he? Habakkuk saying it doesn't make sense. They're worse than we are. God, couldn't we at least have the lesser of two evils? And he didn't understand how people who were, from his perspective, more evil than the people of God could be used by the Lord to bring correction, discipline, and judgment. And the Lord responded by encouraging Habakkuk. He said, just wait. Write the vision, make it plain. Just wait. Trust. Live by faith. And he pointed him to the end, to the final judgment. This is where we have that famous verse, the just shall live by faith. Faith. It's a great lesson because there are things we can't understand. I think it's a relevant lesson because there's a lot right now we can't understand. But we can hold on to God's promise. We can trust in what he has revealed will be the end of the matter. And that's what matters. The end. Eternity. That's what Habakkuk did. after listening to the Lord talk about what would happen, the judgment that would come, he concluded his short 3-chapter book by writing these words, Habakkuk 3:17-19. And he said, "Though the fig tree may not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, though the labor of the olive may fail, and the fields yield no food, though the flock may be cut off from the fold, and there is no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation. The Lord God is my strength. He will make my feet like deer's feet, and he will make me walk on high hills." You see, it's time for us to simply trust the Lord who loves us, the one who made everything, who sent his Son to die for us. And if he gave up his Son for us, would he withhold any good thing from us? The one that conquered death, that created all things, is there anything that's too hard for him? Guys, he knows what he's doing. Learn not to question, but to trust. He can use wicked people, unbelieving people, liberal people, to move his plan forward. It doesn't make sense to us.